From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode,
we kick things off with a story full of community purpose. July's Vendor of the Month from the Indianapolis Office of Minority and Women Business Development is a service-disabled veteran-owned small business founded by Doug Heath. Christopher Day, the CEO of Elevant Ventures, talks about this year's Rally Innovation Conference. And we talk about real estate opportunities.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
We kick things off with a story full of community purpose. July is Disability Pride Month, celebrating the anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, passed July 26, 1990. As it happens, July's Vendor of the Month from the Indianapolis Office of Minority and Women Business Development is a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business founded by Doug Heath.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Getting started.
I'm the founder and owner of Bravia Services. We're a service-disabled veteran-owned small business. We have three pillars to our company. The first is consulting services that we provide to our clients. The second is construction and engineering services. And the third pillar is procurement services. Well, it really goes back to when I was in high school, graduated from high school. I'm the youngest of 6 kids. So my parents got us through high school, and if we wanted to go to college, we had to pay it ourselves. I tried to go to school, couldn't afford it, and I dropped out of college. And I was working at PetSmart as the fish guy, and decided that wasn't the career I wanted, and enlisted in the military 6 days before the Gulf War. I joined the National Guard, and that's really what allowed me to go to college. It paid for my college through the GI Bill. So I always wanted to kind of help veterans and give back to veterans, and that's really the inspiration for Bravia Services. Initially, our goal is really just to help them find jobs. So it's really veterans, service-disabled veterans, disabled people, and their families, because one of the things I always say is military brats pay the price as much sometimes as the people in the military themselves. Really helping them find jobs, helping them better their careers and their families. And we've been doing that for a long time, even before Bravia Services. The 2017 Patriot Award, 2019 Above and Beyond Award were really awarded because helping those people find jobs and their families. I would say the military and the government's done a lot more in the last 10 years, but it's still hard because when you're in the military, they kind of tell you what to do every day. You don't really have to you have to take a lot of initiative, but you're following orders. At least I was an enlistee, I wasn't an officer, so I wasn't really giving the orders. And I think a lot of times when you come off active duty or you come off deployment, you kind of say, okay, where do I start? I can give you an example. I met a Navy network engineer who was working at a gas station. He had a top secret security clearance. And I said, why are you working at a gas station? He said, I can't find a job. He had never written a resume. So I helped him write his resume. And I said, you got a top secret security clearance, you should be able to get a job in a week. And literally 2 weeks later, we got him a job as an engineer, as a network engineer for an IT company, making $80,000, $90,000 a year, and full benefits. And he said, man, this changed my whole life. So that's the kind of stuff that we really get a lot of pride and joy out of. Stuff like that. First of all, it was totally surprising. Didn't expect it, came out of nowhere, but it's really a team award, and some of our team members are here with me. It's all of us. We've got a lot of people in our company that are military brats, disabled people, service-disabled people, and it's all of us coming together. So I would say it means a lot to me, but I think it means a lot to everybody in our company. Well, I serve on the 500 Festival Board, which has been a lot of fun, but it's great because we get to do so much around the community and volunteer so much around the community. I'm active I'm a life member of the American Legion and the VFW, and I've coached so many kids. I have 3 daughters and coached them and a lot of kids, but it's not just me. We encourage everybody in our company to do that. I can't remember all the lists, but we've got a list of all the different organizations that members of our team are volunteering in. I think you're right about people in the military, and I think some of that's because People join the military for a lot of different reasons, right? I wanted to go to college and it helped me pay for college. But when you get in that environment, you kind of become part of that camaraderie and you understand that there's more to it than just the military. There's the giving back and the support of each other. And even when you're out, you kind of want to do that support. I would say it's a lot of things. One, my family. I got a great wife, very supportive, and great kids. And seeing them thrive. I have a daughter who just graduated from college, one who's studying abroad in Korea right now, and one who just graduated from high school. So my family's been amazing, very supportive. But then Bravia Services is probably a close second, namely because our stated function as a company, and it says it first when you look at our website, is to support veterans, service-disabled veterans, disabled people and their family. That is our stated goal as a company. So
we're doing a lot of work and providing opportunities, doing a lot of great things for businesses in our community.
But we're doing this with that stated goal. So I like that a lot.
Doug will tell you the company's success is a team effort, but under his leadership, Bravia Services has earned recognition from the U.S. Department of Defense, honors such as the Patriot Award and the Above and Beyond Award. If you have a business story you'd like to share with us, please do. Send us an email, beo@wishtv.com. If you look up Christopher Day on LinkedIn, you'll find him listed with a number of roles. CEO of Elevate Ventures, Rally Visionary, Dad. He took time out this week to chat with us about some of the opportunities for entrepreneurs coming up next month at the Rally Innovation Conference.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Access to capital.
It's been amazing what's happened since last year's rally. Number one, 4 of the 5 winners that we funded that won the pitch competition, 4 of those 5 have actually set up operations or in the final stages of setting up operations in Indiana because it makes sense for their business to grow and expand. So that's been amazing. We've also had several companies reach out, and because of experience they had at Rally and seeing our culture here and how easy it is to get connected to people, so that might be just networking or customers or investors, they're actually looking at relocating their businesses here because of what they experienced. With the momentum that we had from year 1 of Rally, we're adding things in there like there's going to be an ed tech track this year. Maybe not an official studio track, but we're going to have a half-a-day session where we're going to talk about how we disrupt education now. We've had inbounds for people that want to talk about film. So like next year we may be adding film to Rally. I think it was a snowball, right? As that snowball rolls downhill and more people get attached to these different applications of cross-sector opportunities, we'll see things like ed tech or film or other industries want us to focus more on their industry and add additional studios. So when we say who should attend Rally, we say innovators. That's not just investors and entrepreneurs, but it's educational leaders at both K through 12 and higher ed. It's philanthropic leaders. It is other organizations or associations that are also trying to proliferate innovation in entrepreneurial ecosystems. The magic is all of those people coming together in one place at one time. So I think it's important because we have to grow every single day. At this moment, as we're having this chat, this is the slowest rate of change that you and I will ever experience. It now just got faster. And so if we're not always trying to grow our networks, grow ourselves, then we're going to get left behind. So last year, there was a company that went to Rally, and they were trying to raise their Series A, and they could not find a lead investor for Series A. They met an investor at Rally who ended up being their lead investor with a $1.5 million check, and that investor was located 5 miles from that company. They had never heard of each other, nor met each other. A personal example, a lady comes running up and says, "You're not gonna believe what just happened." I'm like, "Well, tell me what just happened." She was looking into cold plunge, and she'd heard a lot about it, she'd been reading about it, and wanted to get into her daily routine or whenever you do cold plunges. I don't do cold plunges, but there's another gentleman who was at Rally who apparently, it's a passion of his on the side, and he writes and talks a lot about cold plunges and the benefits, etc. Creative collisions, right? Creative convergence. They happened to meet in the hallway by happenstance, got to talking, found out that each other were passionate about cold plunges, and she said this was transformational for her life. So we never know. Is it going to be business or professional? And the way I understand cold plunges, that also helps in your performance, right? And health and prosperity. So you never know what's going to happen at a conference like this. So we're really fired up about our keynotes this year. So we have Tia White. She's going to kick us off. She is an AI leader with multiple Fortune 500 companies, absolute expert in the space. So we're super excited to have her join us this year. Then we have A-Rod coming in this year. And so sometimes people think, well, you know, an athlete, what can I learn from them? Well, think about Magic Johnson and Peyton Manning last year. But what A-Rod's done post-baseball career, right, with the funds and investing in sports tech and AI type companies, how he thinks about preparing, to compete, not only compete on the playing field, but how to compete in the business world. We can learn an immense amount of things from these folks. Jan Mardenborough is coming. So the movie Gran Turismo, if you happen to see that on Netflix, the movie's about Jan's life. The reason that I get so excited about Jan is he is a shining example of what talent recruitment is going to look like in the future. With all of these AI products that are coming out today, companies are going to know. They're going to be able to watch and see who interacts with these various tools, whatever they might be. They're going to know who are the best in the world, the most efficient in the world at using these various AI tools. And they're going to reach out to you, Peggy, when you're a sophomore, a junior, maybe even in middle school, because they know you're an expert at some tool, and you're going to get offered scholarships for college, signing bonuses. Lord knows what we're going to experience, and this is going to happen fast. It's not going to be 15, 20 years down the road. This is going to happen in the next 3 to 5 years, where companies leverage who's using what tools, take that knowledge on who's good at what, and they're going to go start recruiting these kids in high school and even back to junior high. So I think Jan's an example of that, right? He was racing, the father poking the head in the door, you're going to amount to nothing, right? Well, Nissan did a global competition on all these virtual race car drivers and end up putting them into real life race cars, and he's winning races now. We have Marcus Lemonis coming. So if you've ever seen the TV show The Prophet, he's absolutely amazing. So he was an immigrant to the United States. He started a company called Camping World. It's over a $500 million company today. But he also, if you ever saw the TV show The Prophet, his ability to go into any type of business and break it down to the core, right? You think about go-to-market, how you serve your customer, profit margins, et cetera, unit costs. All of these are business fundamentals that apply to any business, no matter what sector you're in. Software, hard tech, life science, healthcare, sports tech, ag tech, food tech, name a tech. All businesses have the same common threads, and so we are so fired up to have Marcus Lemonis as well. So Rally was built to be this big umbrella, right? So anybody can come be a part of Rally. You have another small conference, you want to plug that into Rally so all of the attendees get more value, and we're really seeing that starting to take off. So one great example of that is InnoPower. So Emil Ekior runs Minority Business Week. And Emil and I were talking, and he said, we're going to have our Minority Business Week in July. I'm like, Emil, is there any way we could get you to bring that to Rally? You keep your branding, all that stuff, but bring that conference into Rally, and it just makes it a better experience for all. And so InnoPower Minority Business Week is going to be at Rally this year. And so everybody's just going to win, right? By getting more exposure to more people who are trying to do innovative things and more speakers and more content. You know what gets me supercharged is seeing people kick butt, whatever it is. And if it's the valet person, if you have an office building and you have a valet, person parking cars in the morning, all the way up to an executive of the world's largest pharma company. Whoever it is that's trying to achieve something in their life, whether it's a student that is trying to go for their first, technology-driven job out of school, creating an environment that enables people to pursue their passion and accomplish the goals that they've set out to accomplish. That's what I love.
Welcome again. Last month, we met Tiffany Dearman and Carr Hill, the mother-daughter owners of Real Results Real Estate. Last year, they had more than $10 million in earnings, so we wanted their views on the real estate market. They were happy to share.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Industry Focus.
So I was in new construction for about 13 years, and then the market tanked, right? So that's like 2008, 2009. The builder I was working with decided to leave the market. And so I found myself, by the grace of God, just 2 months before that, having my managing broker's license. And so with that, I was able to continue to help the clients that we had who had purchased a home but were no longer going to be able to have it built. So basically what happened is me and a girlfriend of mine decided to make a flyer, and we put it on all the spec home doors, the homes that we had already built that hadn't been sold yet, and the model home doors, and even some of the foundations that we had in the ground. And they all said, if you need your earnest money back or you need a place to live, call me. And that's how Real Results was born. And I will tell you, that ended up being one of my best years in real estate up to that point. So it was really cool, but it was totally born out of problem solving. And so I like to think that's a unique strength of our brokerage. And one of the things we really focus on is really problem solving and helping people.
What made me want to get into the real estate business? I have to say, growing up, I was reluctant. because I was born into real estate with my mom. She worked for CP Morgan for a long time, more square feet, less money. So if anyone remembers that. So I was kind of a real estate baby. All of our friends were in real estate. I'm like, I'm never doing it. And so I went into marketing and event planning. I planned big national meetings for pharmaceuticals. But I did realize after a while that I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and that's really, truly where I am. So I'm a 2020 COVID entrepreneur, okay? So the great resignation, as we call it, that time, I decided to be a part of that, and I decided I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was either going to be an event planner or I was going to be in real estate because, I had a built-in mentor with my mom. And I chose real estate, and I'm glad I did because there were no events for 2 years after 2020. So that was a really good decision. And I've been blessed in real estate early on. I have a niche of a lot of foreign nationals that I help in Indy, a lot of foreign nationals from Africa, Asia, and they are just an incredible referral resource. They are so committed. They're so dedicated to every part of their lives, and they're committed to me too. I mean, Indiana, a state that works, right? That's kind of our motto, and I seriously think that we do a great job of that in Indiana. One thing I will say is with my clientele that I work with a lot, they do plug into jobs quickly here. So even though the job market as a whole in America, I think, is a little bit slow right now, in Indiana, people can find jobs really, really, really quickly, and they can pretty decently paying, $20 to $30 an hour, and that's not super skilled labor, So we go into skilled labor, you can make even more money quickly. And that's really important. When you're buying a house, if you've gone through the approval process, the income and debt play a huge role in your ability to buy. And sometimes my clients want to get a new job pretty quickly in order to qualify, and they're able to do that in Indiana. So I think that that's a huge opportunity that we have. Our job market is really strong. And like I said, over 6,000 engineering jobs available. The same with cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is such high demand right now with all of the, as you probably know, the leaks and the threats. And we're always getting emails about, something that's leaked our information. We need more cybersecurity analysts out there. So there's a lot of opportunity in Indiana to make that income, and our job market's strong.
So I would tell you, it depends on what perspective you're looking at it from when you define the health of the market. So typically you would define a healthy real estate market as 6 months worth of supply of homes on the market, okay? So if another home didn't come on the market, it would take 6 months to sell all the homes that are on the market currently. We are still under 2 months of supply of homes on the market. So even though interest rates have gone up, and that has slowed a little bit of buyers because it reduces their buying power, it hasn't helped increase the supply of homes on the market. And so until we have more supply, we're going to continue to have a market that's going to lean more towards property values increasing or at least stabilizing, not decreasing. So whether or not it's a good time to buy is such a personal decision because it depends on where you are in life and what stage you're at. If you're, in a transitional place, then maybe you want to wait until you're a little bit more permanent. But in terms of prices, whenever it's going to be a seller's market, it's not going to be a buyer's market. Whenever it's a buyer's market, it's not likely a seller's market. So you got to pick your poison because if you're selling and buying, you're going to, make up great on one end, but on the other end, you're going to feel the market. And so I just say it's a very personal decision, and that's why you need a really good real estate agent that can walk you through that, consult with you on the economics and the finances of home ownership because we all have a budget, right? So that is the way that, I see in terms of healthy versus an unhealthy market. But it's a fantastic business to be in. 26 years, I still love it. There's so many different dimensions to real estate, so many different ways to get involved in it and to be successful at it. And it's very fulfilling helping people purchase, usually the biggest purchase they're going to make in their lives and the place that they're going to call home and, raise their family. I don't think there's anything better.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities Podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, BEOshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunity Show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at BEOshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.